Hi, welcome back to my channel, man. Today we gonna be popping out with the 3-point shooter build, and we gonna continue part 2 of the story time from last video. See, I know what time it is, man. We finna get straight into it. And just remember, this is my personal build, and if you don't like it, get your Carlos Boozer looking ass back. Also, if you want to watch me play live every single day, make sure you go follow me on Twitch. All right, y'all boys. So in today's video, man, we're going to be on the 3-point shooter build. This is probably the best build out of all of them that I have. This build has an 84 driving dunk, an 85 3 ball, an 85 ball handle, a 75 speed with ball, an 80 interior and perimeter D, a 93 block, and then it has an 82 speed, 78 excel, I think a 78 strength or 79, and it got a 95 stamina. I ain't gonna lie, this build and the shot block and wing is my 2 best builds, but we gonna get straight into this gameplay. I'm gonna show y'all my SIGs, and then we gonna get into it, man. All right, y'all boys, for the SIGs for today's video, man, y'all already know, bro. These are the SIGs that I use basically on every ISO build. I really don't switch them. These are the ones I'm gonna be using. We're gonna be popping out with today. We finna get straight into it. Y'all know what time it is, man. Let's get right. Let's get into it, man. All right, so this is part 2 to the story time from last video, man. If y'all don't understand what I'm talking about in today's video, just go back to the last one and y'all just, you know what I'm saying, go catch up right quick and then come back. You feel me? So this is part 2, man. So look, I was standing there and I looked down at my man's, right? He's sitting there in the middle of the floor, right? He's laying on his stomach. I was too scared to touch his neck to see if he had a pulse or not, but he was not breathing, like whatsoever. Like, he was not breathing. He wasn't crying. He wasn't screaming, nothing. There was no movement from him whatsoever. He literally was just laying there. And so I was like, damn, like, you feel me? I started crying because I thought my man was, you feel me? I thought he passed, you know? So I'm looking at him, right? And I'm gonna just describe to y'all how it looked. And for anybody that don't want to, you know, picture anybody being this bloody or anything, you know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, just skip past this part. Just skip forward like 2 minutes. So I look at him. He, like, his clothes are burnt, you know, because underneath a car it's like super duper hot, obviously. So his clothes is like burnt. His skin is burnt. You know, like, he's cut up, like, he looks like, you know, his arms and stuff are like ripped a little bit, like, you know, like it looked like a dog like bit him and ripped his arm a little bit. So he had cuts and everything. His back like had this long like scratch mark over it, and it looked like Wolverine might have, like, you know, like, I'm not even joking, like literally it was like 3 long scratch marks across his back where his shirt was ripped and everything. So it was scary to look at, you know what I'm saying? And he had white stuff coming out of his mouth, and, you know, I seen some of his teeth on the ground, and he was bloody, you know what I'm saying? I thought my man was gone. That's really how I felt. And that was just that. And so I'm like, somebody pulls up. I'm like, can y'all call the police? Call the police. I didn't have no phone on me right then. So I'm like, can y'all call the police? Call the police for me. And then they start calling the police. So obviously traffic, they stop it and everything. And I just started crying, bro. And I just sat there and I started rubbing his back, and because I didn't know if he was still alive or not, but I just started rubbing his back for, like, you know, 30 seconds to a minute. I'm like, come on, Tay, like, come on, Tay, don't go out on me, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, come on, bro, you gonna be straight. And then after a little bit, he wakes up. I think he got knocked unconscious when he got hit, so I feel like that's probably what it was. So he wakes up and he's crying, but he couldn't cry out loud because his mouth, like, you know, his jaw was broken. So let's get into the next game. I'm gonna continue with the story. All right, y'all boys, so the next thing you know, like, he's crying, but he couldn't cry out loud because his jaw was broken. At the time I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, but obviously seeing that some of his teeth were on the floor and, you know, his mouth was all bloody and everything, I already had a feeling, you know. So he couldn't cry out loud. It was like a muffled cry, and I'm gonna try to, like, kind of like imitate it a little bit, but, you know, not in no joking way or nothing. But you could just imagine somebody trying to cry but they can't open their mouth. So he basically was like, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but he was crying like loud, bro. It was loud, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not about to scream at the top of my lungs. But yeah, he couldn't open his mouth. And so yeah, he started crying, and he was crying super loud. I didn't know what to do, like, you know what I'm saying, because when somebody gets hurt, like knocked unconscious, and, you know, they get shot, anything like that, you're not supposed to just pick them up and just roll them around and move them and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? That's just common knowledge. You're not supposed to do that. So basically I was confused. I didn't know what to do, so I just was like, okay, I'm gonna keep rubbing his back, you know. And I'm just rubbing his back. I'm like, come on, Tay, you gonna be straight, you good, bro, you good. I'm crying because, you know, I'm thinking, you know, he taking his last breaths or something. So the police ends up pulling up first before the ambulance. So the police pulls up, they asking me like, they like, what happened? I'm like, he just got ran over, da 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 da. They're like, where were y'all coming from? I was like, the store. And then they told me to get out the street, and so I end up getting out of the street or whatever, out the way, because the ambulance had just pulled up. I'm standing on the curb and stuff, and I'm just looking at him. You know, he just stretched out on the floor. They end up putting him up on a gurney or whatever, and they about to put him in the back of the truck. And then the police officer, you know, he came up to me, and his little brother had made me mad because his little brother had like just walked up to me and was just so nonchalant. Like, his little brother just walked up to me and was like, is he dead? Like, and I looked at him, I was like, bro, shut up. Like, I had got mad because, you know, he said it all nonchalant, like he didn't care. I was like, bro. So then yeah, the police officer came up to me, and then he started trying to ask me for a statement and everything. And, you know, at the time, like, you know, I don't want to talk to no police officers while my mama not around, and, you know, I don't got nobody there with me. I'm not finna just talk to the police and stuff like that. So I was like, my mom not here, so I'm not gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk or whatever, because that's the right thing to do. You're not supposed to be just, you know, out there just loosely talking to the police, because then you become a witness, and you know, people trying to call you to the courtroom and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that can happen if you talk to the police. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to say nothing right then and start getting my family involved and everything. So I didn't say anything to them right then. You know, and so I just was like, I gotta hurry up and get home. You know, I gotta hurry up and get home, because I don't want them to try to, like, you know, bring me in for questioning. You know, because some people try to make some allegations, like saying like that I might have pushed him in the middle of the street and everything like that. Like, some people were saying stuff like that, and so I didn't want, you know, I didn't want to end up having to go downtown or nothing. So I just started walking home. And I was on my way home. I was almost there, and I looked over, and I seen his mom, like, she was on her way out of her apartment, and she was literally like crying at the top of her lungs, and she was like stumbling and stuff, like she couldn't even walk to go see him type shit. So, you know, it was hard seeing her like that, but I had to go home. Like, I didn't want to, you know, after seeing that, I was traumatized. Like, I didn't really know what to say to nobody, nothing. I just was ready to go home and just, you know, just tell my mama what happened, and then just sit in my room. So I ended up getting back home. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened next. We gonna get into the next gameplay, man. All right, so the next thing you know, I end up getting, like, I get back home and stuff, right? I walk in the house. My parents don't know what happened and everything, obviously, because they're at home. They didn't know what happened. So I walk in the house. They all sitting there like normal, and I told them what happened. I was like, you know, Tay just got ran over, da 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 da. And it was like, how? I'm like, we was about to cross the street. He ended up running into the street or something, and he got ran over. And they were like, is he okay? And I'm like, I don't know. I think he, you know what I'm saying? I told him, like, I told him straight up how I felt. I was like, I think he might pass away. I told him I think he might die. And, you know, my mom was just like, it's okay, whatever. And then, you know, it was just like, I didn't know what to do, bro. I went in the house. I mean, I went in my room. I got on the game because I was trying to get my, like, I didn't know how to explain it. Like, I was trying to get my mind off of what I just seen, because I never seen nothing like that. I never seen at that point in time, I had never seen nobody get ran over, never seen nobody get stabbed, shot, anything. I never seen that a day in my life. So seeing that, I was just like, damn. And then it was, like I said, it was my closest friend at the time, so I was like, damn. So I got on the game trying to get my mind off of it, because I didn't have a phone. Actually, I did have a phone, but I left it at home because my phone wasn't turned on, so I had to be at home to have a Wi-Fi or whatever. So everybody was texting me and stuff, like, you know, my friends, they like, what happened? They said you was with him, you know, like, they wasn't mad at me or nothing, but they was asking me to, you know, they just asking how did it happen, like, is he straight, all that good stuff. So everybody was blowing my phone up and stuff, and I just, you know, like I said, I was shocked, bro, because I had never seen nothing like that, bro. And it was just, I ain't gonna lie, traumatized is like literally the only word that I can use for it. And I'm gonna just tell y'all about the aftermath and stuff in the next game. So let's get into it. All right, man. So after all this happened, I think like 3 or 4 days go by, and, you know, I ended up asking his mom, was he okay and everything. They said it looked good, like he was still, you know, he was gonna have some, they basically said like he probably was gonna have some brain damage, and it might not be the same, but the least, you know, like the only thing I was really worried about was if he was still gonna be with us type stuff. So, you know, they told us that he was gonna be all right and whatnot. So after like 3 or 4 days go by, I end up talking to his mom. You know, I go over her house, I tell her what happened from my point of view, and, you know, just making sure I was there for her. And after that, I end up I think like a couple more weeks go by, and then there was this little event or whatever that they were having at the apartment complex. So everybody went to the event, and when I was there, his mom was there because he had little brothers, and she was taking them to the event. And she was like, "You want to talk to him on the phone?" I ended up talking to him. He didn't remember who I was, like, at all. He didn't remember who I was. They said he probably was gonna have memory loss and stuff like that, so he didn't know who I was at all when we got on the phone. But I cried because, you know, I was like, damn, like, you know, I didn't grow up with this dude. Because I met him when I was like 12 or 13, and so I'm 16, 17 at this point. We lived right next to each other, and we, you know, was outside every day during the summer, all that stuff. So, you know, after that, we end up, he ends up coming home, and he was like, you know, on bed rest or whatever for like a week. You know, I went over there to go see him because mama finally was letting people visit him. I go over there to go see him. I walk in the room, and I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, oh, I didn't even say nothing. I walk in the room, and his mom was like, "You know who this is?" And she was trying to see if he remembered me or not, because he could talk, because his mouth was wired shut, you know, because he had braces in and all that, but he could still talk through his teeth a little bit. So she was like, "You know who this is?" And then he was like, "That's Fat Boy SSE." But that's what he used to call me, you know, on some joking shit. He used to call me Fat Boy SSE. And so he knew who I was. And then I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I just cried because I was like, bro, like, he still remembered me, you know. So he's straight now, though. Like, for anybody that was wondering, like, you know, he's good now. He's fully functional. He moving around, running, jumping. He can do whatever now. So anybody that was wondering if he passed away or if he just, you know, was real beat up bad, like, he's perfectly fine now. Like, I'm talking about run, jump. He don't have to go back to physical therapy, nothing like that. Like, he's completely fine now, literally. All right, y'all boys. So if y'all enjoyed the story time, man, make sure y'all drop a like on the video. Make sure y'all boys leave a comment down below if y'all enjoyed me putting the story times in the, you know, like with the 2K videos and everything. I'm trying to do something new because I know 2K be in shambles a little bit. I know the numbers is going down for some people, but I don't care, man. We ain't gonna stop grinding no matter what, man. We on the road to this 100K. So y'all boys, make sure y'all got on all notifications if y'all just subbed or if y'all already been subbed. But I love y'all boys, man. I'm gonna catch y'all boys in the next banger. And I know what it is, man. It's Jock Gang or No Gang, and I love y'all boys, man. And I'm out, man. Peace.